These are 7 simple steps for beginners to invest in commercial real estate. So if you're thinking about growing a portfolio in commercial real estate over 10 years, you're going to want to listen up. And if you follow these steps, I'll make sure you get there. So commercial real estate is one of the most powerful ways to build wealth. But where do you start, right? How can you go from a beginner to scaling a successful portfolio over the next decade? Let's break it down into 7 simple steps that'll help you grow your commercial real estate portfolio and set you up for long-term success. Step 1, start with education and market research. Step 1 is all about learning the basics and understanding your market. Commercial real estate is different from residential investing, so you need to understand the different asset types, financing options, and how the market works. Spend the first 6 to 12 months learning through books, courses, and local seminars. Maybe you might want to join a community of like-minded investors and really get to interact, pick your brains with people that have already done it before you, and then maybe even partner up with them before you actually start on your own. But it is the cheapest hack that you can do to speed up your progress. You'll also need to research your local market. Look at vacancy rates, average rents, and economic growth trends. The foundation by doing this will help you make smarter investment decisions going forward. So here's step 2. You go out and you buy your first property. You want to start small and look for low risk options. Don't go too big. Go get yourself an apartment building. Go get yourself a multi-tenanted retail plaza. Just start small, work your way up. As you do each project, you're going to gain confidence and you're going to learn more things which will give you more competency to take on the next project. So you want to start small. Maybe you might want to start with something like a box, an industrial unit, not an industrial complex, but maybe just buy one unit, or maybe a small retail space. And if you really want to get risky, maybe you do a retail space with an apartment upstairs. So this way you kind of hedge your bet on the market by having 2 different asset classes, and then you diversify your risk. But these types of properties are easier to manage and often provide stable cash flow in this market right now. So pick a property within your budget, ideally something with a solid tenant base that you can fill up really quickly. It's easy to get residential tenants. You kind of use Facebook to market to them. You can do the same thing with industrial tenants, or, I'm trying to give you a process where you don't necessarily have to hire a broker or real estate agent. You can do this on your own, but you can put an ad either online through social media, or you can do it in a industry-specific magazine that caters to commercial properties as well. So those are a few ideas. But you want to pick a property within your budget and aim for a cap rate, which is a capitalization rate that is above the rate of your borrowing costs. So what that means is the cap rate is the net income, and you want to aim for a capitalization rate, a cap rate, that is above the rate of your borrowing costs. What that means is that you're going to take your net income for this property over the price you're paying for it, and you want to make sure that that return in year 1 is above the interest rate. So in today's market, you want to aim for a capitalization rate that is above 5%. If you're borrowing money at 4, then that's going to ensure you're getting a steady return while keeping the risk manageable. That is what you call positive leverage, right? You're taking the bank's money at 4, but this property is actually returning an investment, a capitalization rate of 5 or greater. Okay, so step 3. You want to take the time to stabilize and optimize the cash flow. You want to stabilize the property by having full tenancy. You want to stabilize the property by gaining in efficiencies. Maybe you're doing things to the operations of the property that make it more efficient. You're saving money. You're not spending more money on a new roof, let's say. You don't want to get into those type of things right off the bat. You want to do tweaking things like making sure that your energy is very, very efficient with your furnace or your water tank. Those are the type of things that you want to tighten up the operations and lower the operating costs. At the same time, you want to optimize cash flow through the rents. You want to make sure that you have an attractive enough property that you can get the best tenants, right? You want to get tenants that you can rely on tenants that are going to be there in the long term, tenants that have good credit history so that you can optimize the rents over time. You want to make sure that those rents are actually escalating over time to hedge against the erosion from inflation. So once you own that first property, you want to stabilize it. Your goal then is to maximize its cash flow by keeping the property fully leased, of course, maintaining good tenant relationships and reducing the operating costs, which is what we just talked about. Make sure that the rents are collected on time. So you want to have great relationships with your tenants. You want to resolve any maintenance issues quickly. You don't want those tenants to have a reason to leave. And you want to manage the property efficiently. That is to either hire someone that does the landscaping or all the outdoor work. Or conversely, you might want to have a contractor on hand that is there to do the job of fixing things really quickly, as opposed to you trying to figure out things that you have no business doing, whether that's fixing a toilet or fixing a broken window. This will help you build a solid foundation financially and increase your equity for future deals. Step 4, at this point, you want to leverage your equity to buy more properties, right? So now you've got this thing that is producing cash flow. You've had it for a while now. You really understand this product. You might want to buy more. But this time, you're now playing with the house's money, right? Literally, as they say in Vegas, the house is making money and you're playing with that money. You're not dipping into your own money in your bank account. And so now you're going to use that equity in your first property to scale up and buy your second one. As your property appreciates and generates cash flow, you can then cash out, right? You take out your original money, cash out refinancing, and take out a line of credit to free up some capital so that you can go out and do that buy the next property for you. So take this cash, reinvest it into buying more properties. Leverage is a powerful tool in real estate. It's the one thing that we can do in real estate that you can't do with stocks. You can't go out there and borrow money from the bank to go buy more stocks, right? But you can do it in real estate. So make sure you manage your debt responsibly. Each new property is going to help you grow your portfolio and increase your overall cash flow. Step number 5. Your next step is going to be to build a strong team. So as you grow, you're going to need a team of capable people with skills. They're going to understand the market that you're in. You're going to want to make sure that the people on your team are local so that they can get to the property on time. They understand how the city works with permitting. You also want to make sure that they understand the infrastructure, whether that's out on the street or in the house. They understand the year and the age of the property, so they're very familiar with what they're dealing with. So this team could be comprised of property managers. It could be comprised of local accountants that are going to help you manage the property. You're going to need a real estate broker. You might not want to use me. Maybe you might want to use me. Give me a call. But you definitely want to get someone who's local that understands that market. Of course, you're going to need attorneys and lawyers to help you either purchase or dispose of the asset once you're done. And you also want a nice attorney that is going to help you with those tenant agreements, those lease agreements. And ultimately, you want this team to help you streamline your operations and make it, to help you make more informed decisions, whether you're buying one or you're up to buying 10. So you want to surround yourself with trusted professionals who have experience in commercial real estate. A great team is going to save you time, reduce your risks, and help you scale more efficiently. Step number 6. At this point, you've got a bunch of properties, right? Now what you want to do is you want to mitigate your risk by diversifying your portfolio. So once you have a few properties, spread that risk. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Consider different asset types to give you a better chance of weathering any market fluctuations that are out there, market conditions. The economy ebbs and flows, and you're going to have some volatility. But one of the ways you can mitigate that risk is by diversifying either your strategy or the asset type. So you can look at different geographical areas, and you want to make sure you're picking geographical areas that are growing in demand. Okay, or you might want to try different strategies to diversify your risk, like long-term leasing versus mid-term rentals that are furnished, right? So in a long-term, let's say you've got a triplex or maybe even a single home and you're leasing it out to tenants. A long-term strategy would be to have that one family living in the home for quite some time. You don't have to furnish it. They're going to bring their own furnishings. The other way to do it is to have a midterm rental. Maybe it's an executive rental, someone that is working on a project in town that might need your place for 6 months. In that case, you don't have to deal with the landlord-tenant board, which is a plus. So for any dispute, you can deal with it right then and there. But you're going to have to furnish that rental because it's only going to be for 6 months, maybe 9 months, right? So it falls under the 1-year term. And then the other option could be that you're focusing on a strategy like an Airbnb, which is daily or very short term, weekly, right? So now you can diversify your risk by having all 3 types of properties. And so you have cash flowing. Your Airbnbs would be at a daily rate, so that would be probably at the highest rental income. Your midterm rentals are obviously, because it's furnished, you can charge a lot more for that. And then that long-term rental is going to help you have steady income over time, albeit maybe slightly less than what you would be getting by charging for an Airbnb. Okay, so that's how you're going to diversify your risk. Step 7, at that point, you want to plan for long-term wealth and maybe even something for your own legacy. So finally, step 7, your focus is on the long game. By year 10, your goal should be to have a solid cash flowing portfolio that generates wealth and sets you up for legacy building. Legacy building would include things that you would leave for your kids. You might want to have a portfolio of buildings that cater to a specific cause, right? It could be for the community. Maybe you're building libraries or things that will be there long after you're gone. At this stage, you want to look at tax strategies to mitigate your risks, right? You're not mitigating your risk through the actual strategy of operation, but now you're looking to protect those assets and protect that wealth, and you're starting to plan for your estate. So you consider how you pass down your portfolio or continue growing it beyond your initial 10 years. Aim for financial freedom and generational wealth. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe, tap on the notification bell, and share this content with anybody you think might be interested in commercial real estate. Until next time, thank you so much.